મેમ લાઈવ સેશન સ્ટાર્ટ થઈ ગયું છે.
હા થઈ ગયો છે. હું અનમ્યુટ હતી, મ્યુટ હતી ને તો અનમ્યુટ કરવા માટે મિનિમાઇઝ
હા,
કર્યું.
એટલે અવાજ નતો આવતો તમારો એટલે હું કહું.
હા હા એટલે જ ચાલુ જ કરું છું.
એનીવે મેમ.
ઓડિબલ?
યસ મેમ, ઓડિબલ.
Okay, okay. Good afternoon, one and all, and thank you, the organizer of this coursework, giving me a chance to interact with the young researcher of the India. As we know that the coursework is one of the part of your research work. If you want to carry out the degree or want to award the degree of doctorate in philosophy in relevant subject, it is necessary to register for the that thing that works, and as a part of that things one is the coursework. Now during this coursework we are uh, gain the knowledge related to the general knowledge related to the research, and as a part of the PhD, before submission the thesis, it is necessary to publish two papers, or rather than we can say more papers or patterns related to that things. And this all things, it is related to their coursework. So I choose the titles of my talk, whatever I want to interact with you, that is research writing. I'm not saying that research paper writing, but I am just saying that research writing. Research writing, why it is necessary and what is the meaning of that things. So we can say that why to learn the scientific writing. Research writing, we can write like that things. Any writing, we can do that things. But it is in our own language. There is no any rules and regulation for that things. But when we think about the scientific writing, research writing, then we are bound with the some rules and regulation of the journals, some code of ethics, research ethics, code of ethics related to that things. So why to learn the scientific writing? So first thing, academic impact is the demonstrable contribution which makes the understanding and advancing scientific method, theory, and application across and within the disciplines. You see here the words across and within the disciplines. So it is necessary if we want to make our position in the field of academic or for the demonstrable contribution in the field. So that's why scientific writing is necessary. If we can say that why to learn the writing, how to write the scientific writing, it is necessary. So you may need to highlight or demonstrate the impact of your scholarly work. Suppose I say that I have identified the one microorganism in microbiology, and then I say that this is the microorganism I have isolate from that things, and this is the newer one. Then there is no impact of that thing. But if I say that what is the gene sequencing related to that things, and if I do the work more and more, but I can't explain in the proper way, then there is no meaning of that things. So that's why writing, to learn the writing, it is necessary, and particularly in terms of the scientific writing, it is necessary how to make the impact of our work. If we can say that in Gujarati there is a uh, uh, one slogan is like that things, bole ena bor vechai. So means once you explain everything, then and then there is an impact of that things, otherwise it is not possible. So that's why we say that you may need to highlight or demonstrate the impact of your scholarly works. Now what is that thing? So we can say focus on publication, why it is necessary. So to get to know, to discover, to publish, this is the destined of a scientist. To get to know, to discover, to publish, whatever you do, that if you not publish, then it is a knowledge between the between the two pages. That is no meaning of that things. If it is put under in front of the publics, we can say in a public domain, then there is an impact of that things. So whatever you did, you explain, you put the knowledge, put that things in front of the publics in public domain, then and then this. So for that publication is necessary. And so that's why we say that focus on the publics, to infect the mind of your reader with your idea like a virus. To infect the mind of your reader with your idea like a virus. Paper are far more durable than programs. The greatest idea are literally worthless if you keep them to yourself. If you have any idea, you think about this idea. If you not put in the applied field, if you not publish that things, if you not give the information to any other things, then there is a no meaning of that ideas. That's why it is, we can say it is just like a virus. But if you put in front of this public, in public domain, if you do that things, if you share your idea with another things, then and then the impact will be created of your ideas, and for that publication is necessary. Good writing skill means why more paper accepted in peer reviewed journal with a high impact factor. It means what we can say that if you write, explain your work in very deeply with a very good skill to gain the knowledge of other peoples, we can say to catch up the readers by that skill, then and your work is published in peer reviewed journals with the high impact factor. High impact factor, it is what that thing, so we discuss in later on. But first thing, our focus is publication and where the published work. So we publish this work with the high impact factor of peer reviewed journal, because it is one of the necessary condition to get the PhD degree. So more papers accepted in a peer reviewed journals with a high impact factor. Second, your idea have more impact on reader. Your idea have 1 minute. Idea have more impact on reader. You will have better ideas. When we can impress the other peoples or the readers. When if our idea is very bright, our idea is very impactful, the meaning of that idea is like that thing. Suppose I say today I go I have a one dream related to that things, and in that things I want to prepare so and so things, but there is a no meaning of that things if you are not eligible to apply this dream into true. So this is the things we can say that if your idea have more impact on reader, if you will have better ideas. So how we can say whatever the your idea, how you can make it better one. So for the better one, impactful action is necessary, and for the impactful action, publication is necessary. So that's why we can say focus on publication. Why? Because we make our position in the field. First thing, if you want to do that thing, so that's why the Francis Argo says that to get, to know, and to discover, to publish, this is the destiny of a scientist. If you do just like a mad person, you do so many works in the laboratory and you find out numbers of things like that thing, but if you not put this knowledge, not the put this result in front of the publics, in public domain knowledge, if it is not useful in the for the society, then there is the meaning, no meaning of your work. That's why we say that focus on publication, to put whatever you get, whatever your conclusion, whether it is positive or negative, that all these things you can put on in front of the public, or we can say in front of the readers, and in front in a public domain knowledge, then and then it is necessary. And for that, one is the engine, and that is publication. That's why we say that you focus on a publication. Now, how many types of scientific papers you can say that? Is only one type we can say that? No, there is a number of types of available for the publication. So one thing we can say that short communication. Second, we can say that rapid communication. Third, regular article. Fourth, review papers or articles. Fifth, conference report. Sixth, meeting abstract, etc. See, all these things, so all have a different types of themes and related to that thing. Suppose we can say that if you have some important knowledge like that things, and you want to put very urgently in front of the people domain, because it is necessary to read that, so then with you can put under the title of short communication. Within a one page, you just explain your knowledge and put in the form of short communication, so it urgently it is published. Then rapid communication, this is also things, but the length of paper it is extra as compared to the short communication. Length of paper is extra, it is not the one page, it is more than 4 pages like related to that thing. So you can do also like rapid communication. Then regular articles means all journals have on their rules. Some publish in twice in a 6 times in a years. or every 2 months they have published their articles related. So that is rules related to the journals, and according to that you can say that when you have to publish. So either you can do for the short communication, rapid communication, or regular articles. Then review paper and articles. Review papers and articles means what? So we can say that it's not a practical or experimental work. It's not a practical or experimental work, but you just read the paper, numbers of papers, and from that you make your conclusion. Make your conclusion related to that as a part of review of this thing. So that is known as review papers, or you can publish the article. Whatever the available in front of the public, you can just conclude that thing, abstract that things, and to further publish related to that things by for a particular themes. So then it is known as review paper or articles. Then conference report. Once you attend the any conference as a participation, and numbers of papers are available is there, so you just make the report on that papers, whatever the paper presented by the other scientists or any researchers. So make the report related to that thing. That is known as conference report. And meeting abstract means just we discuss the it's a panel discussion is there, and on that panel discussion they make the discussion on a one topic related to that things, whatever the view they have explained in front of the public during the discussion. So if you make that abstract related to the whatever the conclusion you have abstract from that, except from that, that is we can say meeting abstract. So either scientific writing is necessary for the all these things, either you go for the short communication, whether you go for the rapid communication, whether you go for the regular articles or a review papers articles or a conference reports or a meeting abstract. So if you have a skill how to write the scientific writing, so that's why scientific writing is necessary for that, all these things. Now, question is our mind is we have the things, we want to do these things, but where I can do or where do we begins? This is the one thing. So the more like think, more confused get. If we think more and more, then I am confused. I go for the short communication. Can I go for the rapid communication, or can I go for the regular articles? Forget about remaining categories, but just confusion related to these three things. Whenever we have a research, can I go for the short communication, or can I go for the rapid communication, or can I go for the regular article? So you just analyze your need. What is your needs? What is the impact of your research? Is it necessary to put under the public in front of the public as possible as early? It is the demandable right like that things. So then you go for the short communication and put them, or you can go for the rapid communication. Just like I give the one example related to that things. We all know regarding the COVID-19. Okay, now COVID-19 at the time of that we all are busy with the find out, means all the world are busy with the find out the drugs or the remedies of this COVID-19. So at that time, if they go for the confusion and then make the more and more research and then go for the things, and then it's a big time. But it is necessary to spot out when it is possible, whatever the early is possible, to find out the remedies related to that thing. And 2 vaccine came out at the time of that thing. So that can be, we can consider as a short communication or a rapid communication. But your regular research, it is, you can go for the regular articles, regular publication or research papers related to that things. So first you have to identify or analyze the things, what is the circumstances is there, and how is the impact of your research. According to that, you have to select the types of research work. Types of publication. Either you go for the short communication, rapid communication, regular research work. And second thing, if you are not want to carry out the work in laboratory, you only carry out the theoretical research. So at that time, you go for the research article regular. But if you don't want to, your health is not support to do the work in the laboratory, so what do we do? So at that time you have a habit, or you like the more reading and reading like that, and so at that time you go for the publication or select the publication related to the review or articles. So according to that, you have to select the types of publications. Now, so there is no confusion related to that things, but according to the circumstances, we have to select where we have to go and from where I have to start. So I just advise all these people, you go first time publication for the review articles. Why I said the review articles. So when we go for the review articles, so at that time, what we do, so you, this is your coursework, okay, now you have not carry out the any work, or I mean to say that you are just in the initial phase of your research work. So if you want to carry out the reference work, so if your focus is on the one particular themes, so make more and more reading related to that type of that titles or that topics with reference to the maximum research paper you are reading and maximum knowledge you gain that. So whatever the knowledge you get, that you make it one review, and that review you have published. So this is the credit of your work related to you have published one review related to that things. Now when we go for the any things, then there is some rules and rules and regulation how to carry out this work. So here you can see that I read the instruction to authors how to write the papers or how to write the review related to that things. So here I have give the one screenshot related to the Oxford Academia for the journals, but we go directly by internet. What we get from that, and from that how we can say how we can take the initiation to write the research paper. So just I type directly connect the internet with these things, and from that I can go one by one how we can possible. So just 1 minute. I just switch over to internet. Mm, just academic. Wait for a few minutes. So, yeah. So here we get Oxford Academic. Just I click on that things. So academic verifying your human. This may make few seconds. Okay. This is the internet process. No problem. Okay. Now here you get that like things Oxford Academic. Now in case of this Oxford Academic, just click on journal. Click on journals. Okay. Suppose I click on the journals, so we get A to Z journals. A to Z journals. So now I type any journals like that things. For example, I type chemistry. I don't know whether it is there or not. Just I type chemistry. If journal is there, then we can get. So now they ask me full text, keywords, titles, or like that things. Modify your search. This is related to that things, but I'm not related to the search related to that, but I'm going to go for the publication how it is possible. So you can see here 1 minute, you can see here journals, pages, and authors. Journals, pages, and author means it gives the information related to how to do this work. So just search results. Okay, now explore these journals. So you can see here A to Z list. You can get that like academic medicine, aesthetics, so and so. So according to that, what you want. So you go for any journals where you can get any idea related to that thing. Suppose I go for the bioinformatics. I go for the bioinformatics. Now here you see that what is the portal? You can see that issue, advanced article, submit, alerts, and about. So where I go for the submits. When I click on submit, you can get first things. It is author guideline. So I just click on author guidelines. I just click on author guidelines. You can see here what is the author guidelines. So author guidelines, first they give the scope. What is the scope of that thing? So bioinformatics provides a forum for the exchange of information in the field of computational molecular biology and genome bioinformatics, with emphasis on a new algorithm and database that advance the progress of bioinformatics and biomedical research in significant matters. Means what is the meaning of that things? So we can say by within this scope, if we our work is within this scope, we can publish here in that bioinformatic journal. Now they have given another things like the genome analysis you can do here, sequences analysis, phylogenesis, structural bioinformatics, gene expression, genetics, system biology, data and text mining, so that we can if our work is related to that things, then we can choose this journal or select this journal for the publication. Then how to publish? This is the main thing, how to publish. So bioinformatics journals is peer reviewed, fully open access journal, publishing the 12 issue per year online. What they say? They say that they publish the every month they publish one issue. So this is the we can say fast communication. Here we can get the result within a 1 month. Then all paper published in the journals are made freely available online under open access publishing agreement with applicable charge. Please refer to the open access section below. What is the meaning of that things? Where we select the open access? No doubt they take the some publishing charge, but that open access, so anyone can assess this without any charges. If they can assess, then you can increase your citing ratio. You can increase your citing ratio. In mean to say, we can say that your research will be explored everywhere in the world without any charges. And if there is a no any charge, we can always see that is it available free? Yeah, if it is available free, then we go for that. We select that thing. So this is our benefit. Open access section below. No doubt they take some publication charge, but agreement or assess that. So we have to do. If so, once a paper is accepted and the publishing agreement is signed, the journal will publish the accept manuscript version, the paper, before copy editing and reviewed on the final proof. This is the author guideline. So what they do? First, they review the paper and they accept the paper. So at that time, you have to carry out the copyright signing. So if you sign this thing, then they have published as a accepted manuscript. They have not given the like that things. This is the volume like that thing, but it is accepted manuscript version online. And after that, advanced article, within the 1 week on the advanced article page, the accepted manuscript will be removed from the advanced article when the version of record of the paper after copy editing and proof review processes. So they send you the papers. If any correction is there, so you made this, then they have carry out this correction and then they have published the finals. So before that, they publish this your paper as an advanced article pages, and then they go for the copy editing, proof review. If the process is complete, then they remove this advanced article page, and they publish as a regular article in that thing. So substantial charges to publish except the manuscript may require the correction notice. So this is the guideline how to publish. Then how to submit. So after preparing your manuscript according to the guidelines, preparing your manuscript section. So that you have to carry out the online for that things. Then you can submit your work through the journal's online submission site. So you go for the online submission. If you have not used our submission site before, you will need to create your account. So if all these things before what as an initial stage, what we do, you have to register yourself on that site. First, you have to register on your site, and then you go for the things. After that, you create your portal is there for online submission, preparing your manuscript section, and then go for the online submission. If you have any problem, they say contact us, means you can put the mail to there. Now, types of manuscript, what they do. So following types of papers may be submitted for the publication. Which paper? Please note that page limits for each type of paper formatted in the journal template, as well as the word and figures limitation for paper submitted formal for. So just I read this line further. For that, paper formatted in the journal template. Second is word and figure limitation for the paper submitted format free. Okay, so they say that what is the things. Now original papers up to 7 pages. You can see that original paper means up to 7 pages. You can. This is approximately 5,000 words, excluding figures. Excluding figure, without figure, 5,000 word you can write within the 7 page. You can publish under the titles of original papers. Then original paper that describe the new research development in the computational molecular biology. Here we select the bioinformatics. That's why there's a biological molecular. If you go for the chemistry type of journal, then they give the chemistry. If you go for the physics type, then they give the related to physics. If we particularly go for the botany, then they give the information related to botany. So each and every subject have that things. Here I take the interdisciplinary computer plus biology and plus chemistry also, because it's a molecular informatics. So that's why we can say that original paper that describe the new research development in a computational molecular biology, model, algorithm, software involving the new method, biological database. So whatever the scope they are given, that all they have written here. As if your work is related to that things, you can go for the original papers. The content is within the 7 page, and the maximum word you can use the 5,000s, excluding figure. That you have to do here. Now you have to say second type of you can publish like application notes. So up to 4 papers or 4 pages you can do that, and approximately 2600 words. I mean 2,600 words or 2,000 words plus one figure. They have given two chances. Either application notes hai, if you want to publish your work under the application notes, then it is 2,600 words, or you select the 2,000 words plus one figure. So application notes are short description. So you can say this is nothing but we can say that is a short communication type, like letter type of publication. This is thing. And description of the novel software or new algorithm implementation, database, network services, which type of work you can publish. So they have given under the scope like related to that things. Author must also ensure that the software is available for full 2 years following publications. Web service must not require the mandatory registration by the user. So whatever software you have derived, that is available on the website for the 2 years. Okay, and additional supplementary data can be published only online only by the journal. So that you can do here. So either you go for the original papers, or you go for the application notes related to that things, or you can application notes must not describe the trivial utilities, not nor involved significant investment of a time for the user to install. The name of the application should be included in the title, whatever the application. Suppose I say that I discover one software and that is related to the bioinformatics only for the docking purpose. So you have to put application of this software, it is only docking. So you have to mention in title docking, like that things. So that you have to carry out under the title of application notes. Then third that I suggest you, that is review. That is reviews. So 3 to 8 pages, and this is approximately 3,000 to 6,000 words, excluding figure. Figure you can go, exclude from that things, and you can add the figure extra related to that things, and that is review. So most review paper are commissioned, although the editor welcome suggest from the prospective authors who should in the first instance submit a draft or abstract summary no longer than a page. That you have to keep in your mind, and from that you can do the review. So for the review, whenever you use the work for any authors, first you take the permission of that authors just by putting the mail, and they give the permission to do that things, and then you can use that. This is the ethics of research or publication. So for that you have to do that. Then letters to the editors, you can also publish under the title of letter to the editors. So bioinformatics publish letters, to the editor on broad range of topic covered by the journals, including the political, technical, and scientific analysis of the issue related to the bioinformatics that you can publish under the title of letters. So numbers of types are available for the publication. So they have here just we go for the bioinformatics. So in case of the bioinformatics, this journal publish the different types of publication like the original paper or a application note or a review, or you go for the letters to the editor or go for the conference paper. So you can see here which type of conference paper you can publish, what is the theme of the conference, and submit it. If you just like I say mention that one type it is conference report, so what you have to do, so what is the theme of conference and submitted papers, what number of papers are accepted and to be submitted and published, what peer review process will be put in the place by the conference organizer to the recommended the papers for the publication in the journals. So that we keep in that mind when we prepare the conference report. So conference paper can be also published here. Then how many delegates are accepted to attend the conference, assurance that the paper proposed for the publication have not and will not be published at elsewhere prior to publication in bioinformatics or afterward without the permission of journals publisher. So that is also things. Now last point, it is ethics. Last point, it is ethics. Otherwise sometimes it may legal issue related to that thing. So once you go for the conference paper, keep in mind that things you have to check properly related to that things prior to the publication, that you have to do that things. Then next thing we say that it is pre-submission inquiries. So pre-submission inquiries are not required for the submission. This is not related to the type of that, and this is the one step. What is the things? So sometimes pre-submission, some journals make that pre-submission inquiry is there. We go for that and we ask them, can we publish here? So that is known as pre-submission record. But here that is not necessary for the pre-submission inquiries. Then please read the author guideline before submitting your full manuscript. Author our online submission systems. If you are interested in submitting review, so each and every paper, not only for these journals, you have to mention, you should be, or rather than should be, I say that you must be read the author's guidelines, how to prepare the manuscript, how to submit that, what is the rules and regulations. From that you can go for that. Then general policy for the person. So these all these things, and then you can see that it is a correct written text as common acceptable uses, what is as an aid to correct written text, spell checkers, grammar checkers, that you have to do whenever you go for the preparation of a manuscript. Then an aid to language translation, how the researcher is responsible for the accuracy on the final text, as the algorithm techniques for the research study, evaluation techniques. It's permissible to include the LLM generated text. I mean, it is related to the, we can say that learning materials related to that things, text or research paper, assistance in code writing, how to write, they create the documents for the code and other things. So that is common questions, or we can say frequently asking questions related to that, or we can say these are the common point you keep in mind before submitting the papers. And this, except over and above, it is also necessary to read the author's guidelines. So this is related to that things. And if you are work in the form of a software, then this is also the things where we can do related to that. So this is software related to guidelines, instruction they have given here. So each and every page you have to keep in your mind before submitting the papers. And here they have given one things, author guidelines must they have given online portal related to that things. So just we do that things. What is the things? Open access below. So what is the open access? So we can say detail open access license and charges, that we have to think. Now current charges they have given like that things, $4,188. So this is too much for us, so we cannot go for that. So that's why I'm telling you that before find out the journals, you go before submission of the journals, you can go for that each and every instruction given on the journal page, and then you go for that related to select the journals. But directly from the name or from the impact factor, you select the journals and then prepare the manuscript, and at the last time at the time of submission, if you find out this is the charges, then what we do. So before that is, each and every points, it is important to read on the journal page given to the authors related to that thing. Now here you see that what is the content. So scope, how to publish, submittings, types of manuscript, we have the general policy, peer review process, how they do say peer review process, so that we can say manuscript transfer also. Now publication and research ethics. Now if you go for the publication and research ethics, it is related to the authorship. It is related to the authorship. So what is authorship? Is limited to those who have made a significant contribution to a design and execution of the work described. Means meaning of that thing. Suppose I said 3 or 4 people are working together. 3 or 4 people are working together in a supervision of one supervisor. Okay. Now supervisor is the main thing, or we can say the corresponding author related to that things. Now all 4 work that things, all 4 other people, because it's a teamwork, so you do that things. Okay, no doubt. If you do that things, all 4 are contribute equally, then you give the right equally. If 3 are do the work and 1 is as it is, and you also write the paper name of this, because once I write your paper, I write your name in my paper, you write my name in your paper, because it increasing the number of papers. That is not a good practice for that thing. So that's why they say that authorship is limited those who have made a significant contribution to the design and education of the work described. This is the most important things related to that things. Now here International Committee of Medical Journals Editors definition to author and contribution. So there, what is the meaning of authors and how this? So just I click on that thing, so you can get the idea what is the significant contribution of the authors they have given. Journal does not allow the ghost authorship. Means why authorship is matter, defining the role of author and contribution. So why authorship is matters, all these things given here. Not I give the example of only one, then one things. It is not necessarily all these things related to that thing. All journal give, but in each and every journal, when you sign the copyrights at that time, or when you submit the manuscript, they can pick up the interest, they push the role of, describe the role of authorship. They have asked you the question, so it is necessary to do that things. So this is related to things we can say here. Then you can also see that here publishing agreement and charges. So publishing agreement is given here, and they have given on their forms related to that things. So you do that things, signed it, and then submit related to that things. Then charges related to this. So once you go select any journals, go to this journal page, go to the author instruction to prepare the manuscript, go to the other contents, what is the scope, what is the type, what is the publication and research ethics, what is the policy, that you have to do that things, and then you go for the select this journal and submit the manuscript. This is the one thing I just convey to you message related to before preparing the manuscript or before submitting the manuscript. This is the things when we go for the research paper writing. Now here further I go for the things in a presentation. Just I give the idea related to that things. What is the how online submission will be there. So Oxford, they have given the author resource, and this related the author resource center promoting your article, financial final step for the publication, that we have seen at the original internet website of the Oxford University. This is only the one example of Oxford University, but you can go for any journal page, and from that you can get the idea related to that thing. How to do that things. Now here read the instruction of the authors. So what they say, so here they have clinical chemistry journals, they have given the journal for radiation and research, article types they have given, that way I have told you related to that things. Then journals related to that things. So each and every journals have different types of guidelines to prepare the manuscript, and according to that you have to select where we go. According to that guidelines, you have to prepare the manuscript from the particular journals. What is the types of the, see here they have given the article type like research articles, abstract, others, book review, review article, letter, editorial letter, brief report, news, and case. So according to that, you have to do that things for the preparation of that things. So this is one message I convey related to that formatting the research article. So generally, I have given here the journal format related to that thing. First, you have to prepare the abstract. First, you have to prepare the abstract, then review of literature, second part, then go for the title phase, then you go for the objectives, then go for the introduction and methods, discussion, conclusion, and reference. These all are the key point of whenever you prepare the manuscript. So first you concentrate on abstract, then go for the title phase, then go for the introduction, then objectives, then methods, discussion, conclusion, and references. References in introduction, you have to include the review of literature. In introduction, you have to increase the review of literature. So this is related to that things we can prepare. Now, how to prepare the abstract, how to prepare the title page, how to prepare the introduction, that all according to the journals they have given in the author instruction. But we go here one by one how to prepare. So first thing we focus on abstract. What we have to put under the titles of abstract. So maybe only section read, just like 4 to 5 lines. Whatever we want to do, we have to publish or we have described in the next part, that we keep in a very short form. That is nothing but the abstract. Maybe only the section read. So they have not given this as a full paper first abstract like that, but they have given just like an index, maybe the index. So somebody not want to read whole the paper. So what they do, they only read the abstract, and from the abstract they get the idea whether I go for the full paper or not. So that type of information we have to keep under the title of abstract. Major questions and hypothesis should be addressed. Suppose I say that major question and hypothesis should be addressed. Hypothesis, you know that things. Major question means your research problem. Suppose I carry out the work with the anti-cancer agent. I want to carry out the work with anti-cancer agent. So why I select this moiety, that I have to put here as a major questions. And why anti-cancer agent is necessary. Number of drugs are available, but even though why it is necessary, so that two answer I have put under the title of abstract. So in abstract I put the major question and hypothesis should be addressed under the title of abstract. Then result and findings should be in nutshell, just what positive or negative, that I have to also mention in a abstract, not in a descriptive form, just in a nutshell I have put as a only the in a one sentence. If I want to write this thing, result and finding of this thing, my research work, then I have to address under the titles. What I can include under the title of essay, so maybe only the section read, then major question and hypothesis should be addressed under the abstract, then result and finding should be in a nutshell, then concluding statements should be effective and meaningful. Concluding section, that we can say that directly they can get the idea what is the conclusion or what is the finding of that we have to make the effective and meaningful, and that we also put under the title of abstract. Use for the keywords, and that things we can use for the keywords. So this is the tips, or we can say clue, how to prepare the abstract whenever we go for the submission of the any research paper. Then title page, good title is necessary. Then never contain the abbreviation, chemical formula, etc. That not consider under the mean to say that. Suppose I say that I make the one title related to that synthesis of 6,6-H5Cl. That is not a good title. What I say, what I can do say, I say that preparation of triazole. Preparation of triazole. Then that is the things. Abbreviation never put under the title. So this is that way we have to select the title, how to write the titles. Second thing, a good title has the fewest possible words with their effective describe the content of the paper. Not make the long title related to 5 to 6 sentence. If you make the 5 to 6 sentence, then that is a no meaning of like that thing. But I say that triazole as anti-cancer agent, that's a best title. That is the best title for that. Or we can say the docking study we have to do. So just like molecular docking of so and so compound, I'm not writing that ADME, then I say that other word like that. We can say that the physicochemical study, right, like the things and that thing. So that we have not mentioned in the titles. We only say that docking of so and so compound, or as a so and so inhibitors receptor. If we select like that any protein, then we can say that it is protein inhibitors related to that things. So that we have to mention in that things. Then indexing and abreasting service depends heavily on the accuracy of the titles. Generally, what happens if we make the good short title, effective title, then they easily accept our accept our papers. The more accuracy related to that thing. So that's why they say that title is more effective, short, and so all these themes or all these purpose of that things that is necessary when we prepare the title page. Words such as studies on, investigation on, and all abbreviations on are appropriate at the start of the titles. Means investigation of protein 2 kind, I mean, say the kinase 2 inhibitors. So that is the things we can put. But we say kinase 2 inhibitors as under my study. So that is not the proper sentence or the title page related to that thing. So that we have to mention here or keep in our mind this clue when we prepare the title page. Then an or the means article are useless word for the indexing purpose. So generally we not make like that an and the are article are used to prepare the title page. So that we keep these things in our uh, keep in our mind and prepare the title page. Here I given only one example like synthesis of promising anti-cancer agent. Synthesis of promising anti-cancer agent. So it's a good title. Here I have not used an anti-cancer agent, the like that things, or what is the promising that we have to not make here. Just the synthesis of promising anti-cancer agent. So that says that they have prepared some compounds which shows the promising anti-cancer activity, or that molecule can serve as anti-cancer agents. So this is the meaning of that. From the very short title, they can get the understand what is the result we have finding, or what is our aim to prepare that thing. So that we have to reflect in our title. So that according to that we have to choose the titles of the papers. Now, next important point, list of authors and editors. This is the things. How to list of authors and editors. So first thing, define as one would take the intellectual responsibility for the research result being the reported. One paper, one author, out of this all author, one author is responsible to take the intellectual responsibility. I mean to say that whatever the IP creation are there, that responsibility given by to one author. Generally, supervisor can take this responsibility. So supervisor is the corresponding author, and that, or we can say the first author. So define as one who takes the intellectual responsibility for the research result being the review reported. Second, listing of authors should include who actively contributed, significance contribution of the authors. So that's listing the authors should include who actively contributed to the overall design and exclusion of the work presented in the papers. So we take only the we write only the name of that authors that significantly contribution in that things. Third, present the author's affiliation address below the name. Suppose I say that Albert. So you put this Albert, then their affiliation related to the Oxford University, like that Albert, then Oxford University related to that things. And suppose someone from the BKNMU, so you can take the name of the supervisor and then affiliation allies BKNMU means Bhakta Kavi Narsimha Mehta University related to that thing. So present the author's affiliation address below the names. Then in listing of address, one address per author is given. For example, four authors are from the same address. So you can write like one from the other one. So you can write authors and like Albert, and then as a superscript like one. Then B, C, D from the BKNMU. So you can write B, C, D all superscript as a 2. So one from the Oxford University, 2 from the BKNMU universities. You can like that. You can make it related to that one address per author is given. Then indicate all affiliation with the lowercase. Remember, this is the things is not it's editorial things, but you have to keep in mind whenever you prepare the manuscript according to the author instruction given to the journal policy. So indicate all affiliation with the lower case. In a lower case means small word. Then superscript letter immediately after the author's name and in front of the appropriate address. Address should be listed in the same order as the authors. So first, then second, then third. So suppose from 3 types of address are available is from the 3 different places authors are contributed in the same paper. So first you have to mention only the paper number, author number 1, then you can mention then second and third. So first you have to mention the first address, first author address, then second author order, second 2 order places there, and then third one is related to that thing. So according to that you have to pick. So just we prepare the abstract, then list title page, and then third one is the list of the authors address. Now, next point is list of authors and address. Provide the full postal address of each affiliation, including the country name and, if available, the email address of each author. So generally nowadays, all these things are working in a online. So you keep in your mind very accuracy. You have to mention the email address. Mention the email address. And corresponding also clearly indicate who will handle the correspondence at all stages of referring and publication. Also, post publication, ensure that telephone and fax number also with the country and area code are provided the addition to the email address and the complete postal address. Now, complete postal address is not necessary, but remember that with phone numbers, country code, area code, fax number, and email. That is must. That is must. So very accurately you have mentioned all these things, because when the corresponding is not properly, then the image of that things it is very bad, and may we are lose this journal for the publication. So corresponding authors always, and put the name of the corresponding author, those person who throughout the process they will check the email and they will respond the proper person properly in a time. That is also necessary. That's why I say that put the correspondence, select the correspondence or the author as your supervisor, because they are actively engaged with their research work, with their research students. So this is the one thing. Second thing, not to make a silly mistake when we writing the email, because if email address is wrong, then we cannot get the any comment or any correspondence related to this paper. And it is also remember that it is doesn't go to in the spam. No doubt it is not in our hand, but we have to also check the spam. If they are going in the spam, then we lose to complete our work within the time period, and that is also a misimage related to that things. Then present and permanent orders, now it is not necessary because we always put the email address, but it is also necessary you also put the present and permanent address. Why? Because once you are work with the BKNMU, your correspondence related to the domain of the BKNMU means your mail ID is there. And once you leave this institute and you go for that anywhere for the job or any purpose related to, then this is your personal address. So at that time you cannot to assess this domain. So it is also necessary to make the permanent address related to that thing as a footnote. So in the future, if you want to if any correspondence work done by after leaving your institute, then that is possible with a permanent email address. Then next important part, it is materials and methods, how to prepare them. So enable the repetition of work, first thing. Second, experimental design, you have to mention under the title of materials and method. Third, statistical method. Fourth, do not copy or paste method from your earlier publication, give the reference to it. For example, suppose I say that I work on a quinoline. Okay. So if I do to work on quinoline, so first I have to synthesize the quinoline, then go for the other one. Now, quinoline is my major molecules or main molecules like that. So each and every papers, it is not necessary to mention the preparation of the quinolines. But once I have published the one paper, so I put the reference like that, so and so paper, according to that report and method, I have prepared the quinolines. So not necessary, do not copy or paste method from the earlier publication, just give the reference related to that thing. So that we also do that. Experimental design, you can mention under the title of materials and method. If slightly modify, use the phase as previously described within the following modification. Like that, we can also put the titles or sentence here for the modification related to that things. So that we can keep in our mind in materials and method. Then result. So clear, consist, and critical objectives. Where first our objective is like that things, I want to prepare the thiazole. So, so thiazole, for that, what is our experimental design? Experimental design is related to the, I use the ultrasonic waves to prepare that things. So what is the result? Result is that by using the ultrasonic waves, I have prepared the thiazole, and that is within the time. So this is my objective, I have fulfilled in the result. So what is our objective? That we have to reflect in the results. That is clear, consist, critical objectives should reflect in a results. Then relate result to aims and objective. What is the result? What is our aim and objective? That we have to reflect under the title of results, whether it is possible or not. If it is not, you can put the negative note. There is no meaning of, there is a no any either effect, because you have to accept whatever the happens in, that is the things, that is the honesty, and that gives the positive remarks related to the results. Then relate the each section. Instead of the next section should be organized in a logical sequence, not necessary in order to the experimental were performed. In a logical sequence, you have to organize the results related to that things. It is not necessary whatever the step you have performed during the experimental, but in a logical sequence, you can organize related to the results. So this is the important part, how to write the results. Then discussion. Discussion is also place the result in context of the previous work. Whatever the work you have do in previous, then you whatever you find out the newer things in this work, that you have to discuss under the titles of discussion. Result in context of your previous work. Place the result in context of what is your aim and what you find out, that you can discuss here in case of the. Then do not repeat the results. Further, you have not to write the result. Whatever you discuss under the whatever you write under the title of result, that you have not to discuss here, or you have not discuss it, but not repeat here. Disclose the limitation and critical in discussion. That is the main thing. Why it will be not happens. So you discuss your limitation, because of so and so thing, it is not possible to do this work in laboratory, that you can discuss here. Or why they are this molecule not bind with this receptor, so you can say that the whatever the molecules we synthesize is stateful like nature, and there is a no effective interaction with the active binding site, so that's why it is not. So this is the limitation of molecules, so that you have to discuss and disclose here in case of this discussion. Then discuss and speculate in a balanced manner. Whatever that you do, that speculate you can do here. Then highlight originality, novelty, and significance. That is the things. What is that? Whatever the previous work you have done, whatever you done here, what is the difference between those things? What you have find out? That what is the difference between that is novelty. What is novelty? What you have to, that is originality. And what is the significance of that novelty, that you have to discuss. So that is under the title of this. If you explore this discussion part in more and more, particularly in a point to point and very critical discussion with a limitation, with a speculate manner, so then there is a no chance for the rejection of the papers. What are the next objectives? And just through an idea, means suppose you carry out any work, and that from that what you get, then what is your next objective? Here you get this result, but from that significance result, further how can I utilize? That is our next or future objective. Or this is for that future objective, how we can implement these things. So that is idea. So that we have to discuss here. Then punchline optional if it is worth writing. So this is the things we can discuss here, what we think. Then conclusion. Conclusion is one of the most important part. Discussion section should be followed by the conclusion, which should as clear as possible. The main conclusion of the study may be present in a short conclusion section, which may stand alone or from a subsection of a discussion or a result or a discussion section. And conclusion is the place where you got tired thinking. So this is the things how we can put them. So sequences you have to mention according to the author instruction or journal themes they have given. So we start from the abstract, then we go for the title page, then keywords, then go for the introduction, then literature survey, then you go for the result and this experiment materials and method, then you go for the result and discussion, then conclusion, and then last point it is related to the figures and table, not last point, sorry, figures and tables. So use the font size that is visible to the eyes. We make the very complex tables, and if we don't see, if anybody cannot readable for that things or they cannot read that things, and then what is the meaning of that is use the font size that is visible to the eyes. There is a limitation of human eyes. So if we make in 3 or 4 size, then it is not visible or it is not read for the human eyes. So use the font size that is visible to the eye. Then do not ever discard the original. Chances are good that you will need to read a figure at revision stage. We make the manipulation, so that not possible here. You will need to read a figure at revision stage. Then do not write the legend on the data. Do not write the legend on the data. That is also one thing when we prepare the figures and table for the publication. Do not write the detailed method in the figure legends. Always not. Make it very short, very as possible as short and sweet for the legends. If you modified an image using the Photoshop, absolutely indicate how and why the figure is legends. That we have to mention. Then do not forget the bars, size and errors. That is also we have to keep in our mind. Remember to the number, the figures and tables on the figure and text also. We put here figure, that we have to also mention this is figure number 1. That figure number we also mention in the introduction or a discussion where we say that what is the meaning of that figure. So we say that we reported this biological data, or we can say that the rationalized energy of these things we have mentioned in a table number 1. So that we have to. So whatever the figure obtained by the docking, so we can say that when we carry out the docking or stimulation of this molecule with so and so proteins, so by using this compound model, so that result or that is mentioned in figure 1. So that picture mentioned or described related to the, that we have to also mention in a discussion. So that is necessary how to write the figures and tables. Now, next point, it is use the font size that is visible. Sorry. Big 1 minute. Next important point, that is plagiarism, and we all know that what is plagiarism. Plagiarism means you that is a control of one of the things or one of the process that control you for the copy paste. So whatever the work, it's a one of the research ethics and writing ethics also. So means whatever you do, that things that is not allowed cut and paste. The act of presenting the another's work or idea as your own, that is known as plagiarism. So you have to go for the plagiarism. For plagiarism, many detectors are there. Now we use the Nilbrit software for the plagiarism. Some journals use the Trinity for the plagiarism checkings. Before that, we use the Urkund software. So according to that, journals generally directly journal also use this check, use their on their software to check the plagiarity. Now, what we do for the plagiarism, what we so direct quote from the research. Suppose I say I want to make the some sentence or the finding from the other people, so that what, so I make it as a quotation, make it as a quotation, like Japan's beautiful Mount Fuji last captured in 1707 and is now classified as a dormant. Dormant violence shows no signs of activity, but they may erupt in the future. So that we put under the titles of inverted commas. So means we make this quotation. So directly we can, as a quotation we can use, but direct sentence we cannot use. So this is the things. By use the quotation, you can use the others work. Then non-plagiarized paraphrase, Mountain Fuji, the highest mountain in Japan, is actually dormant violence. Dormant means it is not active, and the last time Mount Fuji erupted was in 1707. So whatever the right they have written, I make it paraphrase, and then I can use related to that things. Direct quote from the research we can put as a under the inverted comma. Otherwise, we can make it paraphrase or related to this, means whatever the cut paste that we cannot use, but by making a paraphrase or by making a quotation, as a quotation we can use the work of that thing, so that allowed under the allowed for the plagiarism. Examples of plagiarism versus paraphrasing, so that you can see here how it is we can do that things. Never do like that. Absolutely do not copy or paste from your earlier paper or from someone else's paper. That is not allowed under the plagiarism. Secondly, if the data do not fit the hypothesis, throw away the hypothesis, do not throw away the reputation. Means never make your image like other things, but always do related to hypothesis related to that things. Then if your paper has been rejected by other, 1 minute. If your paper has been rejected by another journals, a good way to let the editor know is to submit in the format of the other journals. Means transformation, you can put the ask for the transformation. That is the things we can do like that. Get help from the native English speakers if needed. If we are weak in English to make the writing, so we can take support from the English speaker to make it possible for that things. But each and every paper, it is not necessary to make that. You have to prepare yourself to write or eligible to write these papers. Last thing is submission. So you go for the submission. Always they have given the links. After preparation related to submission guideline is also given there. Then ethics and disclosure, you have to make conflict of interest, you have to make, contact the journal and submit the online papers of related to that thing. That we can say that how we can make it submission. So all these guidelines are given on the journal page, and according to that you have to prepare that. Meanwhile, whatever the point they have given in that page, how to explain that, I give some clue related to the paper writing related to that. Always read journal scope and aims before submission or before selection. Always read journal scope and aims, and then you go for that. If our work is not fit with their scope or aims, then never go for that journals. Never go for that journals. Otherwise, you can get the rejection. So there is a no meaning of the selection of that journal. So how to select? So before selection of journals, read the journal scope and aims, and they will give the idea whether we are fit there, our work is fit there or not that. And then you go for that things. So this is the first step before submission of the papers. Then journal, sorry. Always read ethics and disclosure, and according to that ethics and disclosure we have to mention, we have to maintain by before writing these papers, and according to that we have to go for them. So this is the one things we can also keep in our mind when we go for the preparation of the articles or research papers. Then always select the open access portal. Why? because it makes your citation is more and more. And if your citation is more and more, then you can get the idea related to that things. I mean, your impact of your research will be make more. So traditional subscription based on journals, generally we can say that processing and publishings are free. Then subscription, library or individual, you can do that things. Require the reader to pay for the content that they read, and the free access after or publishing charges are there. Authors pays immediate free access to publication. So this is the things. Now when we select the open access, where we go for the charges. So green open access, this is the one also criteria for the open access journal. Then subscription based journals with immediate access under license. Then free access via repositors after embrace period, and hybrid models author choose. So generally we have to select hybrid model for that things. Then you can see here standard terms and condition for the business, means you can see that whether it is open access, whether it is access, or whether it is green access. So generally we have to select the hybrid access related to that, which make your journal make your research work very impactful. So brevity in writing is the best insurance. It's partial. Rudolf Vicro, they have made this sentence. So that is the things how we can do that things. A German physician, anthropologist, and pathologist, patrician, biologist, writer, editor, and politician, they have made this thing. So always make the acknowledger whether their quotation we use, whether their work we use for the purpose of knowledge or for the purpose of anything, or for the literature survey, always make his work acknowledged. So in a paper you have to do that thing. So after completion of that things, result and discussion, make the acknowledgement. So first your university or your institute related to that things where you have carry out the work, because it is necessary. Then if you anyone is given the free accessibility of their laboratory or their instruments, also make this acknowledge. This is the research ethics or publication ethics related to that thing. So this is also make as a acknowledgement where you need to demonstrate the impact of your scholarly work. Where so preparing your promotion and tenure dossier, this is the one thing it is necessary for the any supervisor need to do things. Then second thing, for a foreign scholars completing the requirement related to the visas and permanent residency, publication is necessary for that things. So this is also an important thing. And the applying for the grants, the publication is also necessary. And most important things is that to submit your PhD thesis, research two research papers as per guideline, it is necessary. So you have to publish your research work before submitting the thesis. So that is the requirement for the publishing, where you need to demonstrate reporting on the activities of your funded research also. If you got the scholarship related to that things, so that you have to make the broad impact related to that things. Uploading your CV while applying for the job after completion of your PhD, if you're applying for the any job. So if more number of research papers are there, then it is also make the one impact more impactful related to your CVs. Then identify yourself as an expert outside of the academic peers, media, public, and legislators. So that's why it is publication is also necessary. So next one important thing, that is citation. What is citation? I will say that make it more impact more on the citation, more impact on citation. But what is the meaning of citation? Citation is under inverted comma. What is citation? So a citation is a formal reference to published or unpublished source that you consulted and obtained information from while writing your research paper. This is citation. So whatever the after completion of all these things we make it just like uh, make like that thing references, that is one thing. So a citation is a formal reference to published or unpublished source that you consulted and obtain information from while writing your research papers. So suppose I say that you have written like that the triazole compound shows the antimicrobial activity. Here at that time you paid the one superscript number is there one, and then what from where you get that information that you have to note it under the title of researches. So those author they have written this paper, they have got the one citation related to that. And so here you can see that suppose I display here my Google Scholar profile like that thing. So in case of that, you can see here in one right side, you can say get my own profile cited and view like that. And so citation is total citation is 7767 with H index and I10 index, and up to 29 21 it is 404. So last 4 years I make it more than 300 citation related to that, and this is the one of the image for the authors what is the meaning of citation. Now this is Google Scholar profile, so from that you can get the idea related to that. Now from the Scopus they only cited on their publication, so from that you can also see here what is the related to that, how many that things. So when you do for that things you can get the idea for the author, Scopus profile, and here you have see the Web of Science. So this is the things how we can get the idea and how we can importance, what is the importance of the research work and how we make the impactful of our research in that things. So this is the interaction I have with you, Web of Science related to, and thank you for listening me. If any questions related to that things you can put under the title of chat, so I can sorry, put under the chat so I can get the any I can give the answer in a chat also. Okay, no question. Okay, so thank you for listening me, and no doubt it's a 15 minutes time we have. If you want anything other than this thing, you can ask. Otherwise, we complete the sessions.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay,
We can end this session now, ma'am.
okay, no problem,
Thank
sir.
you, ma'am.
Okay, okay.